Hello, welcome to Actual. Today we're going to tackle a very important topic, and that is celebrities who like board games. I'm joined by my friend, Dr. Ed Hope.
Hello.
Thanks for coming, Ed. There are celebrities out on the internet who talk about liking modern board games. We're not talking about Monopoly or Scrabble. They need to like the kind of games that we like. We are going to rank them based on what games they like, what they're talking about, their kind of breadth of the love of board games. How much do they talk about it? Have they talked about it recently? Do they help us reach new audiences? So, I think if someone is talking about our hobby, but they're already kind of in a geeky culture, then that's not really expanding it out. But if Taylor Swift said tomorrow that she loves Carcassonne, that is going to change our world, right?
If she does a song about it on her new album.
Exactly. And she should. I mean, she's done so many songs at this point. It's just sort of like odds that one's going to be called Carcassonne. So those are the criteria. Might not be fair on all of them, but that's what we're going with. And we're not having any D&D players. I know the whole world plays D&D and collectible card games and Warhammer. Those are off. It's got to be modern board games. First celebrity is Kristen Bell. What have you heard about Kristen Bell playing board games?
Yeah, I think everyone has. Yeah. She did it after the Golden Globes.
She did. She talks about it a lot.
But that respect. You know, she goes to the Golden Globes and then afterwards posts on Instagram that she's playing
in like her ball gown and like her husband's all suited up in the tux.
Yeah. What if you went to the Golden Globes? Would you prefer to go to the after party or play a game of Settlers of
Well, that's interesting because Paul Giamatti won an Oscar and then he went to like In-N-Out Burger and just like ate burgers.
Okay.
So I'd probably, I'd like a burger.
This ain't about burgers though. This is about
if I'm going to Golden Globes, I do want to go to an after party. But I'll take the mind in my pocket.
Yeah.
Go to the after party and then meet a celebrity there and play
the mind.
Yeah. Or something else.
But also we're ranking the we're sort of judging the celebrity rather than the games, right? We're judging on what they are doing for the hobby.
I just think from my point of view, we're looking for good ambassadors for the hobby. And I feel like Catan almost gives you this bit of credos because it's this German game and I think we've grown up, especially someone like Kristen Bell, it wasn't around in her childhood. So then this thing comes out and it's oh, this is niche and cool.
But I know what you're saying. How many... They've probably sold a lot of copies off that Instagram.
Oh,
Imagine the Catan publisher's office when they see that.
Yeah, they are so happy.
They're having a bigger part in the Golden Globes, mate.
Can I point out that this was Can you guess what year that Golden Globes was?
2017?
Bang on!
Hey!
Yeah, okay. But
I spent all week researching this video. There.
Right, okay, thanks. But what I'm getting at is 8 years have passed and she's not really talking about Catan anymore. Is she still playing Catan? If you're out there, Kristen, I need to know because there was a real flurry of activity. She played at the Golden Globes, and she's on Jimmy Kimmel or whatever talking about having played Catan, and there's kind of buzz on her Instagram and stuff. And then it's just kind of dead silence.
If she went to Golden Globes again and played a game after, I know what it would be played now.
Go on.
Wingspan.
Yeah, you're totally right.
It would be Wingspan. I mean, you now see it in some TV shows. It's been in the background.
That's so true. Yeah, I feel if there was a new generation of Kristen Bell, we're looking 10, 15 years younger, they're kind of just coming out as popular. Yeah, you're right. Wings.
And I also...
That's a good shout. We could see that.
But also, I feel it's got similar problems to Catan. As in, it's kind of the one that's been almost hit the mainstream, but it's not quite the best for me.
Right,
obviously, again,
but that's always going to be the
way.
Right.
It's offending loads of people, probably oh, it's my favourite game. Which, again, is cool, but also I feel for me, there are better games. But again, coming back to the ritual of playing it, there's nothing quite just... that relaxing experience, and Wingspan does that well for me.
As a board game ambassador, you've got so close. Just play some more. Just play something else. Just go on Amazon and scroll down another thing, and instead of just buying an expansion to Catan, just buy literally one other game. And so now you're not just a Catan player, you are actually a board game player or a board gamer. That's the thing that just kind of marks it down for me. And the fact that she hasn't, as far as I could see, she hasn't spoken about Catan in like 8 years.
I love how you're putting all this responsibility on
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Like she signed up to some position of being like the board game ambassador. But yeah, okay.
That's kind of how I feel about, like, I know it's insane, but it's like, we're in this cult, right? And you put yourself out there as like a passionate supporter of this. Let me give an example of, like, if I support a football team and I make that part of my brand, like I'm talking about on Instagram or whatever, that is, I'm never going to stop talking about it. That's who I am. And like, it just feels like you were in it for a bit and then maybe you got bored of that game and it's like, now we need like these lifelong ambassadors. So the fact that she is kind of like this mainstream actress, like it feels like you're not at all in like the geeky fandom already. So it's like quite a bold move. And that's what I think is like maybe interesting with some of the ones we're talking about is like, are they scared to talk about like being a fan of board games? Does it like impact their credibility or whatever? I would go B. Can we just like bring it down to B? We can always come back to it. But I think at the time she did it, I was so excited. Definitely. Yeah. I suppose because it's been quiet ever since, I'm just like maybe waned a bit.
Also with these tier lists, you'd be going to...
We're going
too early, you know, you got to try...
Well, that's true. Yeah. And we're only going down to D, so we got S to D. So B is like right in the middle. Up next is Jude Bellingham, one of the best football players in the world, like England player, now plays for Real Madrid. And he was on like an England football team video, and it was like what he keeps in his bag. And first he pulls out a copy of Uno, which is, where's that in your tier rankings?
Yeah, that's... Nah.
Yeah, but then he talks about playing a lot of what he calls Wolf, which is obviously werewolf. And then he calls it, he can't remember the name, but he's basically talking about the mind, but he calls it brain.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
And then there's another one he calls liar, which I don't know is like Perudo or Liar's Dice, maybe, I don't know, because, but yeah.
He's teaching these games.
Well, interesting. So he, at the time, was playing for Borussia Dortmund, which is a German team, and there was like a particular player that he like calls out as being like the game expert. So I guess in the German football teams, it's just like a bit more of like a board game thing, because it's just more in their culture. And then we've like since learned, you know, that the England team play werewolf. Like, you know, they'll have like 17 players all playing at once. And like Harry Kane, like England's like top goal scorer, he's been playing it and stuff. So, yeah.
But I think this board games, considering how much money and how much stuff goes into elite sports people,
yeah.
Playing board games, to me, sounds like such a natural thing to do for... You know, because in a tournament, how much time are they going to spend together?
Yeah.
And you do want them to bond.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would just be the perfect thing. So something like Werewolf in that setting is such a great idea.
But it's interesting, isn't it? Because that game has the potential to like create upset or like for people to...
Right.
Maybe not so much as like diplomacy or something. So, you know, Gareth Southgate was very much pushing like this kind of psychological, like, we're a friendly family in a way that the England team never were. Obviously, playing board games, would really like bring you together if you didn't know each other. But like Werewolf could like,
particularly amongst a group of very competitive people.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
But I feel like if you're a footballer, you're used to being competitive and
they
like
play
aggressive.
against each other in other teams and
so it probably suits it. I just think they're so lucky. It's like being on like almost like a summer camp. Okay, you got to play a football match and get a bit tired, but then you're literally like, if you're at the Euros and you're out in Italy or something, and you just like all have a nice meal together, and then you get to play like an hour or two of Werewolf, and you've got like this, you've got a captive audience of like 18 people that all have to play a game. That just doesn't happen.
This is a job for you, mate, to get in there and teach board games. Teach them how to say the names right first, and then teach the games.
So where are we putting Jude Bellingham?
Well, he's mentioned a few. So the Mind, Werewolf, and Uno. Was that?
Yeah. Uno's bringing it down a bit.
And it was in what, GQ, was it?
It was actually an England YouTube thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's pretty public. Like, I think the video's got like hundreds of thousands of views, like if not millions. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, that's cool. But what bigs it up for me is that in that setting, is there a better game than Werewolf to play?
No, you can't really top it.
You know,
well,
do
obviously,
2 rooms and a boom.
Right. Yeah. I guess what I also like about it is that he hasn't been asked a leading question. Like they say, bring a bag full of stuff that you couldn't live without, and he's picking it. He's not picking.
Where it came
you know,
from?
yeah. Right. It's like, so it's other people would just be like, oh, this is my aftershave and this is like the skincare I use. And he's picked that defines. So it's like there is quite a lot of passion there. Yeah, I'd put him, maybe I go B again because it's still like, it's lighter games, approachable stuff. How about you?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, B. All right. Okay, so this is a big one. Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh, you've done a video.
I've done a whole video about how Daniel Radcliffe likes board games, but he's been a bit quiet lately. So I
when
think...
you say lately, did he ever respond to you?
Well, no, he never. No, but I just...
ever he's been quiet.
I just feel he's been quite publicly talking about his love of board games. Like, to be fair to the guy, he's had a kid, but...
As I was saying, I saw a Woman in Black.
Right.
Didn't mention board games once in that movie.
Exactly. It's not on. Because the thing that got my hope up originally, so it was a video, he did like a sort of interviewy thing, and he talked about Timeline, loving Timeline.
Okay. Which
is like very approachable, but also feels a bit niche. Like, you're not typically seeing that in like Waterstones.
Yeah.
Right? It's not as obvious as like some other games.
If someone said they like that, you'd hint they've got a few more games.
Right.
Do you know, there's a few more.
And then he really cemented that. Because in like a written interview, he talked about liking Welcome to the flip and write game.
Yeah.
That's like, that is, at the time I was like, what the hell? Like, because the game at that point had been out for like a year or two.
Yeah.
So you always feel something like that. He's like got the hookup. Like there's a friend. There's a friend that's like feeding in the. He's
watching your videos, mate.
Well, I mean that's what I hoped in my video.
You covered Welcome to, right?
Yeah, I had done. Yeah,
of course.
And Timeline.
There's no coincidence.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to say that Daniel Radcliffe has, like, what do you think, 50 games? I reckon he's got...
Wow, you think that many?
I mean, he could afford it.
If you had 50 games, would you mention Welcome to, though?
Well, I think at the time he was, like, super passionate. I bet if you interviewed him now, it's something else. He's moved on.
He's moved on from that.
Right, I've moved on as well.
Yeah.
Did you owned it?
I owned it. I think maybe 5 pieces of the pad got used.
Okay, wow, you moved on quick.
Yeah.
See, Daniel's watching this. He's moved on as well.
Yeah,
and he's just like, oh, if only I'd done another interview and told you about my new passion for...
Any other games he's mentioned?
This is it. We got nothing else.
Really? Radio silence.
And I've seen him on chat shows. He's talking about Lego. It's like, great, you like another geeky thing. Like, no.
Yeah, but Lego...
Stick to games.
Everyone likes Lego.
Yeah, it's just like how everyone likes D&D. No, like, if you like Welcome to, you're special. If you like what everyone else likes, you're not special anymore. But I felt like he was like reaching out to us as a hobby of being like, I'm one of you. And then he didn't get enough back to sort of keep with that.
It's the board game. It's the board game community's fault for not sort of.
I don't know.
I mean, you couldn't have done much more yourself.
It could be something so simple as like that guy who was, or girl that was the hookup for him of like introducing him to the cool games moved away. And he's just stopped playing games. And his life, and now he just like does Lego on his own in the dark. Like, But
I think he's nerdy enough to know the.
Do you think he's on BGG?
I think so.
With like a shadow account?
Yeah. I think he's nerdy enough to be hooking up other people within the... That's what I like to think.
Right, yeah. But this is the thing, you want to hear these rumblings of like, oh yeah, I was on this set with Daniel Radcliffe and we got well into Zuvardis.
That would be a dream.
I don't know if that bit suit his character. If he's into Welcome to, like, maybe he likes a bit more like insular, like solitary games.
Because I do think for, as we talked about footballers, it would be great for their team building. For actors who have... So I would automatically think, actors want to play like a social deduction, a game with a bit of role playing that you could role play within. But actually, that's probably just what we think actors would be like. But actually, probably on set, they want to play something like Welcome to.
They want to chill.
There's just the chill, it's sort of like the solo game that lots of people can play.
Yeah.
That's what they want. So maybe Zuvardis is a bit too much interaction for them.
But are we thinking... Is it an S tier or is 2 games not enough?
It's not an S tier for me.
Okay. Can we give him A?
No.
Oh my god.
No.
There's something... Welcome to... Yeah. Just like even... I'm not talking about my own personal taste of the game, but you're deeper into the hobby than you are with Catan.
I think the opposite, because I feel like he's deeper in, but he's picked the crap again, which is even worse.
But I can't allow us to go below an A for Daniel.
Wow. I mean, I'm giving you... This is like your veto one.
Yeah, this is my veto one. Yeah. This is it.
So
Okay.
Daniel's getting an A.
Yeah.
After
We got
that-
another.
After that travesty.
We got another big one. Another big hitter is Rich Sommer. You know Rich Sommer?
Fill me in.
He
Just remind the audience.
No. Yeah. He's the guy that was in Mad Men.
Okay.
You must have been aware of him. He's so into games that at some point he started doing like a podcast called Cardboard.
No.
That was like really good for a bit, and then I think he just found it too much work. He's like a big kind of he gets a lot of acting work kind of thing. And if you see his collection, it's probably bigger than mine. Like he's got hundreds of games. He knows his stuff. Like he's probably been playing games for like 15, 20 years. He talks about his love of Uno, I remember hearing, but like he's definitely big into like Memoir 44, a lot of those Fantasy Flight, because I think that's kind of his era to certain. And now these days, like he's BFFs with Rodney Smith from Watch It Played. Yeah,
nice.
They like hang out and play games. I'm feeling like he might have some of those like really epic, like Last Night on Earth, like I don't know, those those Ameritrash. But I think
it could be Daniel Radcliffe's hookup, mate.
It could be.
He could be the dealer.
Like, but if they've been in a film together, that would be like, and then it all just clicks together.
The big boss, the daddy
Maybe because he's such a like working actor, he's been in something with Kristen Bell. He's been in he was even in an advert with Jude Bellingham.
It could all be a front as well for other stuff happening behind the scenes.
He's the only guy.
Yeah.
So like
cheese.
it's S tier, isn't it? For Rich? Yeah. He's like so big that they put him as a promo in Dead of Winter.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's what we're talking. So all right, S tier. The next one might shock you, Mr. Beast.
What? Oh really?
Yeah. He's not really talking about it, but we know that he won a June Imperium tournament.
What?
Because on the Dice Tower, Roy, he took part in like a June Imperium tournament. He went and filmed it. And Mr. Beast was not only there taking part, but he won it against like basically the best June Imperium players in America, because I think it was all like people that had been playing it online. So they'd proven how good they were.
I'm sure he didn't do like an Elon Musk and have someone play it for him, and he just sort of...
You never know. But he clearly loves it enough to at least pretend he's good at it.
Yeah.
And June Imperium, not a game I love, but it's obviously like a wildly popular, very hobby-centric, like intense game that came out, in the last few years. So he's kind of got his finger on the pulse.
Playing a game and then winning a tournament.
That's a whole different
level.
thing.
Yeah.
Given that I've never won a tournament in anything.
Right. The level that he must know that game and played that game.
If he's actually won it himself, like he's got to have played that game like hundreds of times.
Yeah. Big respect. Any other? Do we know any other?
But there's literally nothing else, because and this is the thing that I would come back to is he's this massive YouTuber. He's got the platform. Obviously, I'm not expecting him to do board game reviews on his thing, but like, where's just like a little mention like on your socials?
At
like,
no point.
Just a shelfie. Like,
how many interviews must he have done?
Exactly. Well, I couldn't find any evidence of it. Like.
There's probably someone's gonna.
He's keeping it real quiet, and he wasn't even making a big deal of being at this tournament. He was kind of just there to play, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is like a little bit respect, but it's like, oh man, you could just blow up this hobby for us.
Do you want more people in the hobby?
Well, because then more people watch my channel.
Okay, that's true.
It'd be great for me.
Yeah. Although I'm unshockable.
I am. You're
surprised.
shaken. You're shakeable.
I'm definitely cool. I think. And the game as well, and the fact he won. That is cool.
Sure, but I think it's not helping the hobby, right? As an ambassador.
On this one, I think it's got to let it slide.
Okay, can we... Where are we going?
I think A.
Oh, come on. Can we put B for Beast?
No, mate. Winning a June Imperium tournament. That is respect.
Okay, we'll give you your veto for A.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Next up, Superman. Henry Cavill, ex-Superman.
Yeah. Well, he's famous for
Warhammer 40k. So
I love the way we could have been famous for Superman. He's famous for Warhammer 40k.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what he's most famous for.
Well, and he is going to be in. Yeah. There's a Warhammer show, right? Yeah. He's a bit of an exception because he's so wildly famous. I've seen publicly talk about Warhammer and chess. I mean, chess is obviously a board game, so it counts, but it's not a modern board game. And I feel like loads of people talk about chess, but I felt like he deserved to be on this list. People would revolt if he wasn't.
Right. He's almost got the two extremes there, and none of the middle ground board game stuff. He's got like chess, which is the kind of the classic.
Yeah.
Then he's got Warhammer, which is to me more of like a way of life. It's like it's a lifestyle, it's its own media. It's almost like the depth of a computer game, and people get within the stories. You know, no board game has that level of stories.
Yeah.
And then you paint it, and you become like, and it's an obsession.
Exactly.
But there's lots of stuff in between chess and Warhammer that he must have. I reckon he's got.
He's dabbled.
Rage.
You think he's dabbled?
Oh mate, I reckon he's got.
Yeah, he loves Blood Rage.
He's got.
That's the top tip for him.
Loads of Eric Lang stuff.
I would
all
imagine.
Painted, and I bet they all look great.
I don't know if it's something to do with his muscles, right? But I kind of feel like chess and Warhammer is a very like masculine.
Right.
Okay. Like it kind of fits like a certain like brand of like, oh, chess. I am like a master of chess, and I'm so like mentally. You know, I feel like Elon Musk is like probably claiming that he's great at chess, right? That's like it's kind of like a macho thing to be like, I'm brilliant at chess.
Yeah.
And then Warhammer, I suppose, just because it feels very like male dominated, but also like, I guess because it's just all combat and like war and stuff. I don't know. That's just, maybe it's because I'm just not into that thing, but it feels like an interesting combination.
I do think he probably has a cracking board game collection now.
I
honestly
honestly
do you not think he doesn't have time for it.
I think there's this purist
really?
thing. I think, like you said, it's a lifestyle, right? So if you play Warhammer, it's like you might not play anything else. Obviously, a lot of people do. And just something about the fact that you only talk about chess, like, again, it's like this, no, I'm an expert at this and nothing else. But
also, we have to judge on concrete evidence.
Exactly.
We can't just speculate.
You can't be an ambassador for modern board games if you're not talking about them. So, like, I'm going...
But also, can I just throw in there, he does talk about it a lot, like more than I think any of the other people put together in terms of public.
But are we getting the fact that he's talking about Warhammer? Is any of that coming off to modern board games? Are we getting any of that like sort of splashback?
I hear you. Probably not.
I'm pushing for a D here.
What?
Yeah, it's because they're not like, these aren't modern games. These aren't like.
Oh no, we have to give him a C for being Henry Cavill.
Okay, C for Cavill. All right, up next, another actor. Another good-looking British actor, Andrew Garfield. Do you know what he plays?
Spider-Man. Oh, you're doing games this time.
I think it was last time.
So each time, right?
Yeah. You gotta be ready, right? You gotta be ready. So yes, he used to play Spider-Man.
No, let me.
But.
Can I guess?
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me the genre.
There's two games. They're on the lighter side of things.
Are they area control?
No. So one is like a party game, and the other one's a word game.
Okay, Scrabble word game. Oh no, they're actual.
Well, it's still pretty mainstream, but it's bananagrams.
Okay, yeah, bananagrams. Sure.
And the party game, I'm pretty sure you like it.
The mind.
Codenames.
Codenames.
Yeah, so this is big for me. Codenames is my favorite game of all time, and like when I saw that Andrew Garfield, like this is on a GQ like thing, 10 things I couldn't live without.
Again, mate, I just imagine the people in Czech Games
office
literally having
scream,
cut to them.
Yeah,
I mean there is like a meme there, isn't there?
Cut to them.
Right. They must have loved that day. Take the rest of the week off.
But honestly, a big part of that was happening in my heart, but I'm just not making any profit from it.
Okay.
He talks about it being like, he's been playing it for 6 years, and he plays it with like his old like mates, maybe from school or whatever, and they're just like super into it. And then bananagrams he also talks about. But just the fact that he's picked that out of anything else. People talk more publicly about like the films that they love, or I don't know, TV shows, music.
Yeah.
Why can't it be on the same level, right? Like there wouldn't be any kind of shame attached to being like, oh, I love watching like The Wire or whatever.
But say you were like some famous actor and you had the same love of board games you have now. And someone said in an interview, "Oh, what games do you like to play?" What would you say?
You're tempering it, aren't you?
But what would you say?
You're terrified of answering. Like,
Because you have to actually name a game. You have to, because you can't just say,
right.
like, oh, I like a bit of Rina Knizia.
Yeah.
They say, what? Give me some games.
But this is what I want. Is I want them to do a shelfie or whatever. I want them to like. I appreciate in an interview you got to pick like one or two games.
But what would you pick?
I'd probably go Pandemic, maybe Codenames.
Yeah.
That's what I.
There you go. I mean, so that's. Maybe
it's still pretty mainstream, isn't it?
No, but he's done it for you. That's what I mean. He's.
For me, Codenames, I want to put it higher, but it is still like you can get it in, bookshops.
Oh man,
and Bananagrams is like mainstream all over.
Yeah, I mean, Codenames went stratospheric.
So
everywhere.
Can we go B?
Yeah, I was thinking A, B.
Okay.
Because it's things he can't live without.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure
he's passionate.
In your list of just in your whole life, not even board games, 10 things you can't live without, I'm pretty sure it would appear on yours as well.
I should say the way he talks about it is like very passionate.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he tells a story about like taking mushrooms and going on a flight and playing Bananagrams with the person next to him, which is like again quite open. Yeah. But it's just a shame it wasn't about Codenames.
Yeah.
All right, let's stick him at A. A for Andrew. Fuck's sake. So this is another like big fan of board games, and this is Trey Parker, the co-creator of South Park, and I think it's kind of a fairly recent hobby for him, maybe in the last 10 years. He's been on the Dice Tower doing his like top 10 favorite games, and he likes some big stuff. We've got like Robinson Crusoe, Merchants and Marauders.
He's got Summit at number 1.
Yeah, which is
like obscure. Which
yeah. I mean, he is deep in, and clearly like. He might have like thousands of games, but and then there's a South Park episode where there's like they're talking about games, and then there's games in the background, like you can see like Dead of Winter on the shelf and things. So like he's definitely like a really good ambassador for games, and the fact he's just willing to go on the Dice Tower.
I love that.
Yeah, well he clearly watches their videos.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, that's like respect. There's a level of like the way you hear him talk about it. It's just like. Another level. Yeah, it's the same with Rich Sommer. Like here is a guy that he's fallen head first into it, like we have. So you see yourself reflected in it of like, wow, this is like someone that is fully obsessed with board games. It's not just like a side hobby. Like this is it. So yeah, that's S tier really. Like you're putting it on your TV show, and there's absolutely no shame involved.
I mean, I joked about Daniel Radcliffe putting it in one of his films.
Right.
But he literally has put it in a TV show, so I mean, you can't do much more than that.
So the next one is a singer called Rina Sawayama, and she just posted on Instagram. This is what inspired this whole video, is that it was just quite an unusual person to be talking about board games like on their Instagram, and she did a post with like a bunch of games in hand. She's in a board game shop and it says new obsession unlocked. She's actually in a board game shop called The Complete Strategist, which I've been to. It's in like Manhattan in New York. There's like another photo of her playing Pandemic Legacy, like it's out on the table or whatever.
I love it.
So I think for me, what comes out with that is the kind of passion, like the sharing of it. It's not just like one game or like, there's kind of this like, she's clearly fallen in love with board games. And she's just like really keen to share it with an audience that probably doesn't care, right?
Yeah.
Because she's going to be appealing to like youngsters, and like she kind of makes like, pop music and stuff. Like I just feel like there isn't much crossover, but which is what makes her such a great ambassador, because like she's going to be reaching, there'll be so many people seeing that being like, what on earth are these games? I've only ever heard of Monopoly. So
I remember those days as well when you was first getting into games. And you'd maybe get a few in a week. So I could feel that excitement, and she's obviously wanting to share that, like you say, with other people, which is cool.
There's something about that Instagram post that just captures that excitement of like the first like 6 months or whatever, right? So that's really exciting. Well, let's what are you thinking for Rina?
I love it. I think imagine if, because other celebs have obviously been in that situation.
And not shared.
Right.
Yeah, okay, I go A tier then.
I was going to push it right
You're
up
going to push up to S?
Yeah.
I think we just need a bit more, like,
a bit
longevity.
More evidence. Yeah, it needs to track it on a trend. Yeah.
Let me know, in 3-6 months she's still posting about it, then S tier.
It's on Pandemic season.
That's all it takes to get to S tier. Yeah. Up next is Jorge Garcia, who plays Hurley in Lost. And this is another, like, big fan Like, it's unclear how many games he has, but I'm going to guess, like, in the hundreds.
Okay.
Because he's also done an interview on the Dice Tower.
No way!
Yeah, like a webcam. Maybe it was a lockdown thing. And from that, he mentions Dixit, the game, Cockroach Poker, Skull. So, I mean, it was kind of to do with the questions he was being asked. Like, so I'm sure he likes loads of games beyond that. But he was kind of being asked, like, what games might he take to set and things like that.
Oh, okay. Did he play anything in Lost?
On the island?
Just break out a game of...
They talked about it a bit as if, like, you couldn't really play on the beach or whatever because it was windy. I get the sense that he's got, like, big shelves, you know, like, that there's a lot of games. But
going on Dice Tower, again I just want to know how...
Because that means he watches, right?
Because he must have approached them and said...
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So,
okay, that's giving, respect.
Yeah.
But on the level... But he's not kind of, like, so publicly vocal about it like Rich Sommer, you know... So I would say maybe A tier.
I like it.
Yeah. All right. This is another surprise one for me. I only found out about this yesterday. It's the actor J.K. Simmons, who is in Whiplash and Spider-Man. And he plays a lot of games.
Really?
Yeah, so
Wow.
this is one of the ones where I was getting a list. So we've got Clank, Thunder Road Vendetta, so like right up to the present. Veil of Eternity, which is kind of a niche game that I've played. There's a photo in a People magazine interview where they're sat on the floor, like him and his family, playing Mille Fiori, which is a Reina Knizia game. And he also said that he loves The Crew and that he particularly likes like cooperative games and, you know, working together and whatever.
Brilliant.
So I saw the People magazine interview, and then he's been on like a podcast with Seth Meyers, and it's him and his wife, and they're just talking about, they play with like, they've got, you know, grown up kids. And they all play together, and I think the son is like the proper geek, and he's like introducing the games. But they are playing all of them, and they're getting like playlists. You know, like they play Clank, and they've got like fantasy music on.
He's probably in it enough to have a shelf of shame. You know what I mean? To the
Which
point.
makes him S tier already. Right?
If you have more than
that's hilarious.
So if you need a shelf, to contain all the games you don't play, he's
But it sounds like they are playing. And they talked about in this interview about how they play these games with their kids, and then they will like talk about family stuff, and the kids will bring up like how, you know, their parents might have wronged them as like kids, and they kind of like, it's like this cathartic, like, I don't know, they were like really making it out to be like this amazing like family bonding experience, which is, you know, great. Hats off, like, Esther.
Definitely. Also, like, bringing in the family element as well. Because so far, everyone we talked about has been, you know, we've been picturing them playing it between takes or off a football camp.
Yeah.
But here, like, showing that family thing, which is essentially where most board games probably happen.
Yeah, I do love that. I mean, I think that was what Kristen Bell did a bit. That kind of made it feel more real, was like the odd Instagram post where they've got all their friends around and they're playing Catan. So yeah, S tier for Simmons. Next is Deborah Ann Woll, who is kind of a special board game personality now.
She's famous for
she's
game night.
Right.
Mainly. Has she been in anything else?
She's been in True Blood on HBO and Daredevil.
Game night, is it?
And
Game Night gets thousands of views, mate.
I think she's been on like something like 50 episodes of Game Night.
No way.
So it's not just like turning up once. Wow. Like, that's commitment.
Yeah.
What I found with her, I couldn't necessarily find interviews. There's stuff where she talks about D&D. She's also a big D&D fan. Like, I couldn't find
with the territory, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. But I couldn't find like her talking about board games. But obviously the fact that she's like plays them on Game Night, there must be like a massive love there. So it's like she's again one of these like subtle ambassadors.
Yeah.
It's kind of do as I do, not as I say.
Yeah, but also I feel like a little bit. Obviously, she does that Game Night because she loves it.
Right,
like,
she's
but
just enjoying
doesn't need to do it.
Yeah,
but I feel like it's giving a little bit back.
Right.
To sort of say, I enjoy this. I'll play on camera.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine playing on camera isn't as fun as playing it not on camera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's more stressful and less relaxed,
Right.
If I lived around the corner from Game Night, I'd do it occasionally, but 50 times I might just be like...
What would you say?
It is because I've played on camera. It is, like, stressful. So S tier, I guess. Just the fact that she's on, like,
Definitely.
Next one is an actor called Asa Butterfield, who's in the Netflix show Sex Education. And this one's special because he is one of the first that has done a shelfie.
Wow.
Like, he's posted his games online.
It's like one of those epic things that happens for the first time. You can trace it back. It's like the first shelfie of a celeb ever. It's like opened the floodgates to... You know what I mean? In like 10 years, there'll be
everyone will be doing
it'll
their
be
shelfie.
like, you know when you have those links, it'll be my shelfie link, and everyone will have their board game thing. But he was one of the first.
Well,
so we've got to pay
hopefully.
tribute to that.
So we're going to have a look at his collection here. So we've got some niche ones, like Element, quite a niche game. I'd love to know if he's still playing that one.
I think he's done that mistake we talked about earlier. You know, I talked about Betrayal.
Yeah.
Buying that too early on... The
theme gets you. It's just too exciting.
I
was the same.
Have you got it?
I had it. It was
Right,
probably
you got
in the
rid of it.
first 10 games that I got,
Yeah. But weirdly enough, the first time I played it, I had a really good scenario come out. The one where,
Right.
I mean, spoilers, where the tiles get flipped over and the house starts getting destroyed. And it was actually
Right,
really
yeah.
exciting. And there was like another 20 scenarios. I was like, this is
This
amazing.
could be, yeah.
And the next two, my word, were just so unbelievably bad. Like someone going in another room for like half an hour reading the rules and then coming back and not. So no.
But that's the experience, yeah.
But also, I'd say the same with that version of June.
Right. But
I mean, it's
big, but he's gone so heavy so soon with like Gloomhaven, June, War of the Ring, even Side, like if that's your collection. But then he has got some light stuff like Sushi Go Party.
they are
Oh, look what he's got down there.
big.
Welcome to Daniel Radcliffe special.
Yeah, they probably play it together.
Yeah,
Oh, there
it
was
makes.
Side in there as well.
Side, yeah.
So he likes big.
So it's kind of a good mix. Now, the thing...
But it seems like, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of the kind of chilled ones.
Yeah.
And a lot of the massive ones.
Yeah, there's nothing in between. So as a collection goes, I mean, compared to all the other
Oh, yeah.
celebrities...
But it feels
it's-
like a starter collection for me.
Sure,
in
and
the
it is
first year.
where
or
he
so.
put that in a post on Twitter that
Right.
said, "What games do you like? I want to know about more games." So I think
Okay.
maybe at the time he was quite new to board games, and this is my kind of like major problem is that he hasn't talked about them since. So this was like 5 years ago.
Do you know why?
Yeah.
He's picked the wrong games.
Right.
We've already... He's like halfway through the Gloomhaven campaign.
Yeah.
He's played 3 lots of Betrayal at House on the
Yeah,
Hill.
maybe.
He's tried Scythe 5 times, and he's done. Because he should have gone Cosmic Encounter. He should have put maybe Concordia. He should have... Do you know what I mean? He should have gone more those in between.
I know what you mean. So, I don't know. Like, he did then, I think there was another post, and he had just played, like, Wingspan and Spirit Island.
Okay.
But it was all within the same, like, sort of couple of months. But he's also, like, a big video gamer, and I think maybe some other hobbies. And he's still actively talking about video games, but the board game stuff is, like, dropped off. So it's like, is he still into it? I don't know. I want some consistency from these board game fans. But if you look on like people's Instagrams, I've actually, when I was looking into this, there were celebrities that I remember having Instagram posts about board games. They were just like having a game night, and they've been deleted because they're like they're going back through and they're cleaning up, because you get these like PR teams that are like, no, your Instagram feed, it's too like all over the place, it's inconsistent, it doesn't show your brand properly.
We're getting the PR firms are coming in.
And this is what I'm saying. So when someone stands out like Rina Sawayama, who like is actively loving board games, there's that gives you this kind of like authentic thing that you're not getting.
Maybe it's because people are online judging people's shelfies, you know.
Right. Yeah. Or maybe
We're part of the problem.
Yeah, maybe they delete it because they just got loads of negative comments going, "What, you bought Gloomhaven?"
I know, just like I did.
Yeah. So I would give him. Well, I guess it's an A for Asa.
I think it's an A because first shelfie.
Yeah.
If he did another shelfie saying, "Oh, this is what I've been playing now,"
Yes,
and it had some,
it's grown a bit. S tier, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. The next one is a husband and wife couple. This is Penelope Cruz and Javier Bardem, who introduced Werewolf to all of the cast of like Murder on the Orient Express. So we're talking Daisy Ridley, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Willem Dafoe. In the article, they say
he's a werewolf.
Okay,
I mean,
sure.
straight up.
Respect for like introducing it to like this random group of people. There's also, they kind of, it's just one article. So they talked about playing it on this set, but they also play it in Los Angeles and in Madrid. So they obviously like it's a big part of their life. Like they're playing it with different groups and whatever.
Werewolf, as we were saying earlier, you think it would be the perfect game to play.
Yes.
But maybe it's because you got maybe a bit of time in between takes and stuff. But it's pretty intense.
But it's an interesting question with being actors. Like, does that make you really good at bluffing? And I remember hearing Rich Sommer talk about playing, like, he loves all those types of social deduction games. But he was saying that when you play with actors, they kind of try too hard, or they're so, like, overthinking about how do I play this, that they almost just mess it up, like, by kind of doing too much.
Yeah.
And because with those games, you've really
you're not
just
actually
gotta...
acting. You're kind of lying.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
you've got to be yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, right.
Or like, obviously, so often in those games, the people that stand out are the people that are kind of overdoing it. They've got louder, or they've like they start saying too much. And so if an actor is like overthinking it, that may come out. But it must be really fun to play with like such a mixed age group. And like when you have these actor sets, like I guess they're all actors, so they're all kind of rich and famous, but a mixture of people rather than just kind of your mates that you went to school with kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's kind of a job where you'd meet lots of interesting people on because you obviously spend an intense amount of time with them.
Yeah.
And then on to something else. I think Werewolf would be a great sort of... I can't think of a better game than a social deduction game.
But I'd love to know, like, when are they playing it? Because if there's loads of waiting around on set, they start a game of Werewolf and then someone gets called to it and they're still going.
Oh, it must be in the evenings when they're in their trailers and they're there.
But why wouldn't they? You wouldn't just go home at that point.
No, I think a lot of them would if they're on location.
Right.
I feel like it happens when.
So you need to do something.
Yeah.
So you're at the bar. Okay. Yeah. Great. But it's still just Werewolf, right? And Werewolf's not even a modern game. I don't know if they're playing like a version of it.
When was the last time you played Werewolf? Just bog standard.
Like over 10 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not into the needing a game master and then obviously the player elimination.
And what do you think? Should they be playing Blood on the Clock Tower, for example?
Well, I don't think they should be playing that. I think they should just be playing like the Resistance, Avalon, Secret Hitler.
It doesn't quite go enough people there, I think.
Oh, I see.
Well, I know I have done Werewolf with like 15 people.
Sure,
maybe a few more. Resistance, what?
Tops out 10.
10, right? Yeah. I mean, it's a better game if you've got 10. Then, but
yeah, I know what you mean. You just want that flexibility, especially if you've got like the potential of like another actor just joining you, and they're like, "Oh, can I come in?"
But at least they can watch, and it can be funny.
Yeah,
so I don't. The player elimination thing. If you've got a game night where you've like set time aside, Werewolf isn't great. Okay, you're hardly gonna have 15 people at your game night. But if you're on a set for like 3 months, I think it's okay to have the player elimination thing. It might be funny.
And there's not really they're not really pushing it to the public that much.
Yeah, but they're pushing it to other influencers.
Oh, interesting.
This is the long-term strategy.
It's like a pyramid scheme.
Next minute, if you see William Dafoe with a Shelfie, you'll be able to trace it back. And you'll have little werewolf...
Because that's how it goes, right? Most of us were introduced by one game by one person, but that person didn't necessarily have 100 games. So I would give them a B for Bardem.
Oh, I mean, it's going with the trend, so yeah.
Okay, big hitter time. Wil Wheaton.
He's like the Jesus Christ of the board game. I was going to say God, but that's right.
He does have like a sort of Jesus beard a little bit.
He's the guy that came down to the people and were like, here are the games.
I mean, so creator of Tabletop, the massive YouTube series that turned so many people into board gamers. And obviously he was on Star Trek and he's been in like the Big Bang Theory, and so he's an actor, but someone that he's an actor
as well. He's done a bit of that. Brilliant.
Someone that's put a lot of like effort into. Also, at one point, if maybe not anymore, subscriber of Actual.
Was he really?
Yeah. I think the fact that he created Tabletop was obviously just like changed the lives.
Yeah. I do mourn Tabletop.
And this is what I'm coming to, is that he's not talking about them anymore. So I went through the last year of he's got like a blog that he writes, and the last year of his Instagram posts, and there's not a single board game mentioned or seen.
He's in recovery.
Whereas I think he is talking about like video games or maybe like role-playing games. So I don't know whether he kind of like went a bit sour on them after like doing tabletop or...
Is that... So he's talking about role-playing games now?
I think... No, not in any great amount.
But I just wonder if that's the end stage for all of us.
Right. That I just haven't got there yet.
Yeah. Well, because I know Quinn's from Shut Up and Sit Down. He does a role-playing game.
Yeah,
he's
sure.
kind of moved on from Shut Up and Sit Down in a way.
Yeah.
So is that...
Is that where the money is?
He's completed it. Mate. Yeah. That is where you get to. Because it's almost like you no longer need a board. You like transcend and can just play
with my mind. He at one time he's an S tier, like the best board game ambassador in the world.
Yeah.
But tabletop finished like 8-10 years ago or something. Like
what a show though. He got like cool people to play cool games. And sometimes the games weren't even that good. But
they made them seem
good. They did.
Yeah.
You watch them and the games all seem great. And it ultimately does show it's about who you play with.
Right, Yeah. If I can play with like Hollywood actors, then I'll have a great time.
Yeah, so he was not only sort of showing games to celebs, but also to the wider world. And they got millions of views. I think that is above S to me. Is there a...
Okay, no, there's nothing above that.
There's nothing above S.
We can't.
We need to move everyone else down. And then put
right.
Yeah.
Okay. S tier it is, yeah. We're going British, so not everyone would have heard of these, but Ed Gamble and James Acaster.
Oh, nice.
So like big British comedians, and they've got a podcast together called Off Menu where they talk about food.
Very popular.
Insanely popular, like one of the biggest podcasts in the UK. At the start of one of the episodes, they just tell like an anecdote of how they're in LA and they've been playing Love Letter.
Great.
And basically Ed's been annoying James because he's like doing a voice of like a medieval knight. But they it sounds like they've played it a lot.
Yeah.
And I've very much heard on the grapevine, I think they talk in podcasts about being gamers, but I couldn't find like enough evidence. There's a post that I found where Ed Gamble was playing Exit the Game with Rose Matafeo, which is another comedian that I really like. I don't know whose Instagram it was on, but I don't think it's on it anymore.
No.
They've deleted evidence.
That's even worse.
So yeah, I think they talk about being gamers on like podcasts, but it's very much like a sort of high level, I like playing board games, but it's like, nah, we need details.
Yeah, but also they brought Love Letter out, in a pub? Was it?
Well, yeah.
Were they playing it out and about?
Maybe, or a hotel room.
Because I've done that before. I went out, to just hang out with my mates, and I was like, I'll bring a quick game. I brought Love Letter, and it was the original printed. And I was like, guys, should we play like this little cool parlour game, I call it? Because I don't even know what a parlour game is, but it's sold as a parlour game.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard that phrase?
Yeah.
Oh, right, sure. And I got it out of the little red sort of fake velvet case that's embroidered with Love Letter in yellow. And immediately it was a real uphill struggle to sell this thing where the theme is who can get the love letter to the princess. And do you know what I mean? That's just... It's not what people necessarily want to do in a pub.
I totally agree.
Whereas, you got Skull, Cockroach Poker.
Yeah, I played Hanamakochi in a pub, and I was like quite ashamed of, because it's got this kind of like geisha artwork.
I think it looks cool though.
Oh,
you can maybe play in a tea room.
But it just feels like you're a creepy guy, like, it just feels a bit, the theme doesn't, but actually one of the barmaids came over and was really like excited by it because it reminded her of like an anime that she liked or something.
Okay, yeah.
So actually it was one of the only times that anyone's talked about a game that I was playing. And I was, up until that point feeling weird about it. But yeah,
So I think respect for bringing out Love Letter game. They obviously like the game beyond the theme.
Yeah.
I think. What do you think of Love Letter?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
It's a weird game. I feel like there's not many decisions in it.
No, it's very thin.
It sort of plays itself
a little bit, but there's just enough. That's the key thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy how that just enough has sold it probably like millions of copies.
Yeah.
Because if it didn't have it, it would be boring and no gamers would be into it. And if it had more, then it wouldn't have crossed over to like the mainstream.
And also when you kind of lose, I always feel like, I couldn't have done a lot with that. And when you win, you're like, definitely play
So it
that
kind of makes you feel good.
Either way.
That's fascinating. Yeah. What a good way to think about it. Yeah. So respect that they talked about it in this kind of rambly bit at the start of their podcast. I want to be hearing other stuff. If you are, because Ed is on like the Taskmaster podcast, which is very like board game adjacent. Like, because that's like a gaming thing, and they've been on like House of Games, which is like another sort of gamery thing. So
they're skirting around it.
They really are. They're flirting with us. Yeah. Just stick up a shelfie. I just want to see 10 games on a shelf. They got to be in the last 30 years, and I'll put you S tier. But as it is, I might go C on this.
Wow.
Or maybe it's B.
I thought B.
Okay, we'll go B. We're back to the footballers. The entire Real Madrid team, or at least it seemed that way, were videoed playing the Mind before the Champions League final, like a couple of years ago.
Love it.
That they won.
But the Mind, mate, it's not a game. It's more of a experience.
Okay, that's satire. I know that you like the Mind.
I love the Mind.
So we've got Karim Benzema, Vinicius Junior, some of like the best footballers in the world. And they're sat around dead, and they're doing the thing that we do, which is play it with more people than the game allows.
Oh, perfect.
What does the game allow? Like 4 people.
Yeah.
There's like 8 of them playing this game, which just makes it harder.
Yeah. They probably all speak a different language as well, right?
Right, but it doesn't matter because it's numbers.
It's hardly them playing code names. It'd be more difficult.
Right.
Nuances. But the Mind.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. It's not only language independent, as in you buy the copy, you can play with people. You can literally play with people who don't even speak the same language.
Yeah.
So, obviously, they do speak a common language to each other, but I mean, in terms of like...
Football is the common language.
Yeah, right.
I think with footballers, when I first find... It makes sense when you think about it, but it's like in my head. When you're at school, there were 2 paths. Like, when you're like 12 years old, you had to either be into football or you had to be into bands. Did you
I thought you were going to say board games.
Well, sure, that would have made more sense, right?
Okay, sure.
But that wasn't the truth.
No.
So you could basically be into football or music, which is insane, right?
Which were you into?
Originally I was into football, and then I effectively gave up football.
Wow.
And was into music.
You had to switch.
And I'm not saying that I had to do that, but that was just like a thing. Sure. There's just something exciting about footballers playing. I don't know why. Even though I'm not like a big football fan, I just think it's like that's almost like the furthest. If you could imagine the furthest barrier to reach. Like if you were like, I want to get modern board games out into the world.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's going to be really easy to get people that read comic books to get into board games.
So if board games were doing like a PR campaign,
and
they managed to,
who are the hardest people to reach? Yeah. It feels like footballers are like over there, but clearly
in many ways, I feel like they're competitive. They like to game. They have maybe a lot of time, but I mean, they have a lot of time together. Yeah, I would say. So I feel like it's almost a perfect.
Yeah, so it is perfect, and so great. And the Mind, like a great pick, like
brilliant.
Awesome game, and you can just like play over and over again. And I think because it's sort of part of this like documentary or something, maybe about them winning the Champions League, and they're kind of talking about how this cooperative game is like really helping them get in sync with each other.
Unbelievable.
Which is so cool because when you play the Mind, right, you really feel like you get connected to the people you play with, and you play it over and over again, you get better and better. And they're playing it, and then they're going on the football pitch, and they're like connecting up and being as one.
Imagine how good next season they'd be if they played the Crew. That's what I'm saying.
That's the next step.
Yeah.
And we just keep going.
Yeah.
So I think... I love that it's the Mind, and I love that they're effectively global superstars. They would have put that game in front of a lot of faces.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I still.
But it is just one game.
Yeah, I think it's B.
Okay, B
for me. Yeah.
Next up, Felicia Day, another person like responsible for just so many board gamers because she's the co-creator of Tabletop, also an actress, and definitely in the kind of geek community. It feels like
I think some people have gone so far into that
that it becomes like a career of itself. And what I will say with her as opposed to Will is that I went through her Instagram and I did find her talking about board games in the last year. She was playing them with her daughter. She was playing Flamecraft and Takenoko.
Nice. So
I mean, not games that I would play, but definitely niche hobby games, and obviously good to play with a daughter. It always felt like she was more of like a LARPer and a role-playing, like a D&D person, but clearly she was on Tabletop and she created it, and I'm sure she's got a big collection. So I think for that legacy,
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, mate, it's got to be. Like you say, for that legacy,
Okay.
and also still post about it now, and showing the family,
Yeah.
the fun you can have with your family. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. S tier. This one I was excited by just because I'm a fan of his. Charlie Brooker.
Oh,
Could
no
you guess?
way.
But he's only talked about one game.
Well, he's a big computer game.
He is,
'Cause
yeah.
that
He
was where it
started
came
up as a
from.
video
Yeah,
game journalist.
right.
So he's the writer of Black Mirror, amongst other things. If you could guess the game, we've already talked about it.
It's got to be something strategic.
I'm afraid not. It's The Mind.
It is The Mind.
Yeah,
right.
so, and this is in a Guardian article where he's talking about like cultural highlights. So he's like picking out a TV show that he likes, and he talks about playing The Mind and how it was kind of an antidote to like lockdown, you know.
And you can imagine, he's such a cool guy that I can imagine that would influence people reading that.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
like, try this out.
Yeah, there's certain levels of celebrity, aren't there, that would kind of, people would just immediately buy it. It's like if this person said that they read a book, you'd be like, yeah. But if someone else said it, you'd just be like, yeah,
Right.
and what?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I guess it's the thing that they give off. They give off this sort of like credibility in certain things.
That's interesting. So you think, you know, obviously being a board game reviewer, if you say, oh, this game is amazing, it's probably equally impressive if somebody like Charlie Brooker was like, this board game's amazing. Like, who would you, just because you like respect?
Yeah, there's so much respect around it,
Right.
that he's just as powerful, having done none of the legwork.
Right. I mean, it's got to be a B. I mean,
Yeah, I
that's a
might
solid-
even go C.
Okay.
It was quite a small little thing.
Sure.
C for Charlie. Oh, but B for
Yeah.
Brooker. Let's do C. So one of my commenters pointed me on to Ray Fisher, who is an actor that plays Cyborg in the Justice League. And he was on a podcast, and he loves board games. Like, this is like serious levels. Like, and we've got like Game of Thrones, Spartacus,
Nice.
I think Twilight Imperium, Cosmic Encounter, which he loves.
Wow, finally.
Yeah, and I mean, and the list goes on and on. Like it.
Well,
there's
is he literally just on the channel?
Well,
podcast
so
listening?
it's like it's called like Fan Addicts or something. So I
Okay.
think each one you get a celebrity and you talk about what you love, and it's like an hour-long podcast, and there's just a list of games that he talks about on it. So
Great.
yeah, so that's like a serious lover, and also just totally willing to geek out about it.
Yeah.
But also probably not knowing loads about him, you know, being an actor in like a massive Hollywood thing, you know, you wouldn't expect them to be talking about games or even going on a podcast and like raving about it.
Does he support Actual? Have you had a look?
Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, he's got like quite a, you know, Ray Fisher. I could have mistaken that for
Sure.
just like a, but I don't know. I think
So he's not quite.
right.
Yeah.
We're taking down a
take
couple.
him down,
No, but I think for that amount of games, he's gone on a podcast once, but I suppose I don't know what the kind of reach of that is. It's
Okay.
is it it's at least A, but is it enough for S?
But it sounds like because it sounds like in terms of a board game, it's his jam.
Yeah.
He probably has a BGG.
Right.
But I feel like he's just sat back enjoying it.
right.
which
You
is
love
cool.
you love these chill secrets.
Right.
But they're not
Yeah,
as good as ambassadors.
But they're not like jamming it in your face. They're just like chilling, like, and then suddenly someone's like, "Oh,
You've got
he's
so much
into this."
respect
So
for
then,
these.
so then you're suddenly like, "Oh, it's almost like a little secret," and it makes you more wanna
right.
mentioning all this stuff. I
Well-
like the fact he's mentioning cool games.
Yeah,
as well
yeah.
in there. I reckon because on a podcast as well, it's not just a soundbite of, you know, try this game out. He probably actually elaborates on them. To the point where someone could listen and be like, oh, I'd like to have that experience.
Yeah.
Which is no one really else. Okay, you know, some of the ones that
Yeah,
like
'cause
Trey
if-
Parker have done, but
Yeah, if you go on like David Letterman, you're literally just
Oh,
name
right.
dropping it.
Yeah.
You don't get a chance
Yeah.
to sort of give 20 minutes, 20 seconds like blurb about what the game is.
I mean, yeah. You think he could do more in terms of to make it? You need to give a little bit more to make it S, but.
I just think you've got this respect for these like chill in the background, and I want them to just be like advocating.
Sure. I feel like I'm rating their collections more than like
Yeah,
what they're doing.
But that is important.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, you want to go S?
But what would you prefer to have? Someone who had like collection of like sort of Uno, Monopoly, Game of Thrones edition, Monopoly Go, or
Yeah.
Monopoly Deal, and just talk about it all the time, Or would you prefer someone like this who's got like a decent collection and sort of mentions it on one podcast? What?
I guess the kind of overarching thing of this whole is like, as someone that plays board games, there's clearly a huge industry here. There's so many people that like them. They're on the shelves everywhere. And yet, like, nobody's kind of talking about them in the public eye, except for, like, obviously some YouTubers that not enough people watch. So it feels like
I hear you.
We're talking about all these other things that we love. Like, you are playing them. It's just strange. And, like, it's not to pick out anyone in particular. It just feels like it's kind of this seedy under...
I hear what you're saying. It's like when you mention a band, you're confident to talk about what music you like.
Right.
But yeah, I hear.
Yeah, so I don't know, but I think he's push into S, so, you know, do one more podcast, go on the Dice Tower.
It's S.
And it's S,
Oh,
yeah. Alright. Next up are the Decemberists.
Okay, yeah, the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's nice to have the music ones. I don't know what it is.
Right. We've mainly done celebs and football people.
Yeah, but the Decemberists, not only gamers, so we've got Pandemic Legacy, Pandemic, Azul, Catan. So we know they play those. I'm sure they play loads of others. There's a game about them, or it's called Illimat. It's designed by other people, but sort of in conjunction with them. And it was kickstarted. And I think it's around one of their albums or the artwork or something. So like that's how much they love games, that there's like a card game.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And it's just an abstract card game. It's not about being in a band or anything.
No, it's not. I think it's like themed around one of their albums, the kind of narrative around it.
Cool.
Nice. I haven't played it. I would like to play it, but you get the sense, I suppose, at least when you're mentioning like 4 or 5 games, that there's probably like way more behind that. But yeah, you've picked out the ones. Yeah. So it's that case again of like, those are the ones that would be good for people to pick up and then get them into board games. So that's really good on like ambassador duty.
Yeah.
But it doesn't imply necessarily that there's like this real deep hobby love.
I feel like it does.
Okay.
But with if they've done Pandemic Legacy, that was one of the greatest board game experiences of my life.
Okay.
Like completing that.
Yeah.
Like the last turn. I think we got to like the last turn. It was we had to flip the city over, the next one. It was either one or the other. It was literally 50-50.
Yeah,
otherwise, we'd die or we'd win.
Did you get it?
Yeah. And we literally and we'd also dressed up I'd stolen a load of scrubs from hospital. So we dressed up in scrubs for the last game.
Very nice.
And then played it, and yeah, it was brilliant.
But if you died, it wouldn't have been the best.
Well,
that was the worst board game experience I've ever had.
That's true, actually. I never thought about that. I can't recommend it. But the legacy aspect to it.
It makes them seem like they're deeper in.
Definitely.
They've committed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I don't know what it is. There's something about it being a whole collective band as well. And because they're like a bit alternative. Yeah, I'm liking it. They're not talking about it a lot, but they got a game. They commission. I don't know how it worked, but
I feel like bands as well bands on tour is good to play games with.
Yeah.
You've got 4 people in the band, a few more crew and stuff. So if you've got like 6 or 7 people travelling around, that is imagine you could get through Pandemic
100%.
Legacy. It's the perfect time.
I saw a photo once of like a band backstage playing like cards, like a deck of cards, or they were playing like dice or whatever. I was like, come on, like
imagine that.
The opportunity, like it's just crazy.
Yeah. What game, if you had to take one for like a 2-week tour around the UK with 4 people?
But I'm only allowed to take one game.
Well, you can take a couple, but
sure.
spring to...
I mean, I don't know why. We've talked about the mind. It needs to be something that's just...
No. The thing is, the mind is all right, but I think you've got so much time between sound check and play.
Right,
like
you
3
need
hours,
a long game.
You could sit backstage and actually get like a real into a game. And by the end of it, you guys would know the meta and you'd be so...
Well, screw it. If we got the space, like give me like Game of Thrones. Like,
right,
but this is what I'm finding from this video, is that I'm getting quite jealous of like footballers, musicians and actors that all have this downtime. They've got these incredible careers, and then they've got
Why didn't you go into that just for the board game?
I remember I was backstage once with the band In Excess, like before they went on. My friends were like supporting them. This was like when they sort of did their comeback tour, and before they were kind of like fun, chatting, hanging out, and then afterwards, like my mates were like so happy to have supported them, and they were getting drunk and like. And it was kind of like, oh, so where are they? Like after the show, and because they were like in their 40s, 50s with kids, They've just all gone to bed, like,
Yeah.
and I guess they're back on the bus and like off to the next one.
Catan.
Like, well,
Back at the
mate.
hotel, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, where did they mention this?
It's in a sort of interview with a niche music magazine, I think.
Yeah, okay. They've hardly put an album out.
But they have got a game,
Wow!
which
Yeah.
I'm imagining they told all their
Yeah.
fans about.
Yeah, right. Live on stage.
So-
It's not like, get our second album now. It's,
To me, it's
get our board game from the merch stand. That's what they're saying. Instead of don't buy the t-shirts, we don't make as much.
Right.
But we need to flog these.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think they are.
So
saying.
A or S?
A.
A. All right, I'll take it. Okay, so we saved a big one for last. Keith Richards has played Catan. We've just got like one Instagram photo, but we think maybe, well, who knows? Maybe he's played it 100 times.
Yeah.
Maybe he played it once and like flipped the table.
Yeah. He's now in your dream Catan lineup.
Kristen Bell, Carly Rae Jepsen, Keith Richards.
I mean, that would get upwards of 1 million views, I think.
And me, right?
Oh,
Great band. So what?
Yeah.
He plays guitar. We've got 2 great singers.
Yeah.
And I guess I've got to like fill in on drums or.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'll just put a backing track.
Surprising there haven't been any songs about Catan yet, given all these people.
Well, there's been some comedy YouTube songs. If you
Right,
look
sure.
them up, at
Okay.
least one. I could imagine him playing like the Monopoly card aggressively.
Right.
Or the robber. I think he'd enjoy the robber.
I would love it.
Yeah.
He'd love that.
Yeah. So, but it's Catan. It's one Instagram post. We haven't had the kind of.
Has it been deleted?
I don't know.
So, yeah.
But
yeah.
I would say there's not the kind of like talking on the chat shows. There's not the passion. He could have just been forced to play it by like a grandson and then had a photo taken. So I'm going C, D.
I like that.
Yeah?
I think C.
Okay, C. All right, so that was it. Those are the ranked celebrity board gamers. If you are one of the celebrities that watched this and you were ranked improperly, please let us know in the comments
Where you're in your
think you
house
should
of
be.
money.
And if you think you were ranked wrongly, then just give us a shelfie. That's all we ask for. Just put a shelfie on your social media. Leave a link to it in the comments. We will reassess. We'll share the spreadsheet with you. We'll get back to it. Let me know in the comments if you know any other notable celebrities that play modern board games, because like I did my research. I really tried to find them. Obviously a few got cut off because they weren't famous enough. Thank you so much to Ed for coming back on the channel after 5 years later?
Been a while, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please subscribe to the channel to see more like it. I'm John Perkis.
I'm Ed Hope.
Thanks for watching.